You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome to Healthy Germantown. I'm your host, Steve Wilensky. Each month, we will share ways for you, our Germantown residents, to enjoy a healthy life here in our city. Tennessee is ranked among the least healthy states in the nation, with 75% of all Tennesseans overweight or obese. In 2015, Governor Bill Haslam created the Governor's Foundation for a Healthier Tennessee, with a goal to improve the health of our citizens. Germantown was selected as one of 9 cities to serve as Healthier Tennessee communities. Germantown was chosen due to the city's many initiatives promoting a healthy environment and a balanced notion of wellness for all ages. Joining me today to discuss the designation and program is Alderman Forrest Owens. Later, in our second feature, the healthy eating educator from Whole Foods Market here in Germantown will walk us through a healthy recipe with seasonal fruits and vegetables. And finally, we will ask the experts at the Campbell Clinic the best way to heal a broken bone after surgery and talk to a physical therapist from Campbell Clinic. Joining us now is Alderman Forrest Owens. Forrest was on hand for the governor's announcement naming Germantown as a Healthier Tennessee community, and he is co-chair of Germantown's Wellness Council. And I'm so happy that you're the first guest on our new show.
Thanks, Steve. My pleasure to be here.
So Forrest, let's start at the beginning. We were the first city in West Tennessee to receive pilot status in March of 2015 and full 2-year designation earlier this year. So tell us about the process that's taken us from then to now.
Sure, and you know, I'll start off by saying for most of my adult life, I've had a passion for physical activity and nutrition, and so when I became elected as an alderman, I wanted to find a way that I could help improve the health of our citizens. And I didn't have a vehicle to use to do that, and so I was so excited and pleased when Governor Haslam introduced this program that we could dovetail off of that and really gave it skin to where we could help our residents achieve better nutrition, better physical activity, and ultimately better health. So in talking about the way we got here, we applied for the pilot program, as you mentioned. We formed our Wellness Council. We formed some subcommittees of that and began seeking public participation. We began promoting that, and in turn, then we received our designation a year later.
Well, so talk about some of the amenities. Obviously, the state noticed that this is the kind of city they want to be a pilot, and it's because of the amenities that we have. So talk about some of those amenities that make Germantown so perfectly suited to be a Healthier Tennessee community.
Well, absolutely. You know, we've got the infrastructure is just perfect for things like our Germantown Athletic Club, our farm park, our bike lanes, which are near and dear to my heart, as you know, the Greenbelt system that we have, our ball fields for our youth sports. I mean, there's just a multitude of things. I could go on. Our wellness or healthcare providers. We have, I think, Mayor Palazzolo was telling me the other day, per capita more doctors and physicians in our town than anywhere else in Tennessee. It's just a whole multitude of things that combine together make it a perfect fit for the Healthy Tennessee program.
Right. So wellness you were talking about. Wellness is one of the key performance indicators in our Germantown 2030 initiative. So as you imagine the future impact of Healthy Germantown, how do you see this ongoing project contributing to that?
Well, you know, I'm going to use a cliche here, and I've said it before on the mayor's program, but health is the new wealth. And I think that with the tenets of the Healthy Germantown program that we have, it's tobacco cessation, as you know, healthy nutrition or better nutrition, and physical activity. And if we can promote those those three tenets within our residents' lifestyles, then I think we'll achieve that. And it takes a little bit at a time. One of the examples, as you know, is the app that we have, Streaks for Small Starts. We used people to get people to sign up for that app in order to get one of our grants from the Healthy Tennessee Initiative.
And I use that every day.
Yep, I do too.
Good. So let's say that I'm someone who's not currently active. How can I use these local resources? There's so many of them to get started.
Sure, I think the first thing I would do is start off by visiting our website and signing, and also the Facebook page, our Healthy Germantown Facebook page, because there's a wealth of information on both, and they send out promotional ideas that can get you started. But it's just an incremental thing. I think start out slowly, and maybe you visit our Germantown Athletic Club and sign up for that. Or maybe you get nutrition ideas from our farm park and fresh produce. Maybe you walk on our green belt and set a goal to walk every day or every other day with your friends. There's a whole host of ideas, and again, if you visit our website and look at our Facebook page, you'll get some ideas.
Makes you appreciate how fortunate we are to have so much all in one place. And we just have to encourage people to use it, right?
That's exactly right. Pam Beasley, our parks director, likes to say that all of our residents within Germantown are within a half mile of a park. And so if we can just get out there and utilize it, I think that's going to increase our fitness and increase our well-being.
So one last quick question, the final few seconds we have. Why should we care about promoting a healthy lifestyle for others?
Well, giving back to others is one of the main tenets of a healthy lifestyle, period. And so I think if we can increase the quality of life and the health for our residents, then that is the ultimate goal, and that's what we're trying to do with the Healthy Germantown initiative.
Great explanation, and again, thanks for being our first guest. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your service to our community. After this short break, we will head to Whole Foods Market in Germantown for a refreshingly healthy recipe. Back after this.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Thanks for being here with us for Healthy Germantown. We recently spent some time at the Whole Foods Market in Germantown. Jason Autry, the store's healthy eating educator, took us for a shopping trip to collect and assemble the ingredients for an heirloom tomato and melon salad. Ready for a healthy treat? Let's watch.
Hello Germantown, Jason Autry here with Whole Foods Market. I'm your regional healthy eating educator, and I'm about to go do some shopping, see what kind of seasonal, local, healthy ingredients we can find to put together a nice snack. Why don't y'all come with me? So we're going to go through the produce department here and see if we can't find some things that meet all 4 pillars of my healthy eating initiative. Number 1, we want whole foods, minimally processed, none of that junk. Number 2, we want plant strong. That means everything we do today is going to be based around plants. In fact, it's going to be 100% plants today. The third thing I'm looking for is nutrient density, so that we get the most nutrient bang for every calorie buck. And last but not least, we're going to choose only healthy fats. When I was a kid, I didn't even like tomatoes. Then I grew up and discovered heirloom tomatoes, and it opened a whole new world to me. Not only are these classic southern food, they're also full of vitamins, minerals, lycopene, and antioxidants that are going to help your body fight off cancer and build your immune system. So heirloom tomatoes come in all shapes and sizes. In fact, every farmer has his own variety that he's the most proud of. These ones here are from Pontotoc, Mississippi. And the only way to know if something's really good is to taste it. So whenever you're shopping, I always recommend ask for a sample. And here at Whole Foods, we love to eat. So every time you get a sample, we get a sample. So let's see if this is any good. The melons definitely have a place in our basket today. Now that I've got a cantaloupe, I think we might need to find some of his friends. What says summer more than watermelon? I don't know. Let's get one of these. We're gonna use this little one because they're seedless. It's gonna save us some effort for our dish. And while we're at it, let's put a honeydew in the basket too. So I think what I'm gonna make today is a salad. I know it sounds crazy to put tomatoes in a fruit salad, but technically tomato is a fruit, so I think they're a perfect couple. Now, one of the ways that people ruin their salads is by putting unhealthy dressings on it. Now, there's an option here called a lemon, and this is one of the best things you can use for salad dressing. It's not only going to dress this up and add a little bit of acidity to our dish, but it's also going to add a whole lot of nutrients. Now, I'm choosing the organic lemons because we're actually going to use the peel, and I want to make sure that there's no pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, or fertilizer residue on this. Right down here, we've got living basil with the roots still attached. I mentioned how we like to eat whole foods. Doesn't get more whole than still alive. I'm going to choose one of these red banana peppers. Now, again, I'm not sure how this tastes, so I'm going to have to get a sample. Anybody who knows peppers knows about the Hatch chili. Highly seasonal. They're not local, but they're very famous. They came out of New Mexico, and these are great roasted, raw. I'm going to use them raw today. All right, now that we've picked out all this wonderful produce, let's put it together and see if we can make a healthy snack. So all of these wonderful summer fruits have inspired me to make an heirloom tomato and summer melon salad. We're going to start with one of my favorite summer melons, the classic watermelon. Now, the best way to do a watermelon, well, at least the way I do it, is what we call top and tail. So you start with a sharp knife and your fresh melon. We take the top off, and then we take off the tail. Now we're just going to take off the skin. Now, if you wanted to, you could keep this rind and pickle it. It's actually a pretty great condiment that's pretty classic down here in the South. Now, for this salad, I want it to be pretty, so I'm going to try to make as nice little cubes as I can. So I'm going to take the side off here. That'll be the chef's cut. We'll eat that later. And then just make nice, even slices. And just cut it into cubes. There we go. We'll go ahead and put those in a bowl. All right. Now, through the magic of TV, I've also got cantaloupe. We're going to use some honeydew. You see, we've already started a rainbow, and one of my pro tips for staying healthy is to eat a rainbow. That way you're getting a wide variety of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, flavonoids, all the different things. All right, we've got our melons in there. Next, we're going to use some tomatoes, and I'm using our heirloom tomatoes today. This one in particular is a Cherokee Purple, which is my favorite. Same as a watermelon, we'll take the tail off, then we take the top off. Now with heirloom tomatoes, you want to be careful and make sure you use all of it, because these things are precious and they're also delicious. So any little leftovers that I'm setting to the side, I'm probably going to eat those while we wait for dinner. And again, just nice even slices. With tomatoes, it's extra important to have a really sharp knife. Otherwise, you mash the tomato, all the juice comes out. We want to capture as much of that juice in our dish as possible because it's going to become our dressing. Little Cherokee Purple. And once again, I've already done a little prep work ahead. I'm also going to throw in some of this yellow Brandywine heirloom tomato. And some of my favorite little tomatoes. This is a wide variety from several different farms of cherry tomatoes. And we've got little pear-shaped ones, we've got bigger round ones, and the little round ones, but just a few of those as well. We'll stir this around a little bit to start getting those flavors together. Now, all we need to finish this up is a little bit of dressing and a little bit of seasoning. And we're going to keep it really simple on that front today. One of my favorite salad dressings is simple lemon, right? Now, one of the most nutritious parts of the lemon is actually the peel, the zest we call it. Now, if we were doing a fancy dinner party, I might wait and use this at the very end, so we sprinkle it around the plate as a garnish. We've got our zest. Now, of course, we also want to use the juice there. And be careful to not get any seeds in here, because those are a nasty surprise when you bite into them. Now, we have our melon, we have our tomatoes, we have our lemon dressing. And just to spice things up a little bit, since it's the middle of summer, we've got these wonderful peppers. I'm using some hatch chili peppers and then also some of these red peppers from one of our local growers. So I want to add a little bit of color. Again, we're eating the rainbow, and I like it spicy, so I'm going to put a whole lot of this in here. Now, perhaps the most important part of this dish, this is really going to bring it all together and make it those flavors pop, is fresh basil. And I've got several options here. We've got live plants. These are from I believe outside of Atlanta, but I've been feeling a little homesick today. I'm from Athens, Georgia, and this is our living basil. It actually still has the roots attached. I love that about it. But this is from JB's in Atlanta, and I've been selling this basil for almost 20 years. Now, with our basil, I want to make it into what we call a chiffonade, or I've also heard it called a julienne. And the best way to do that is you take your basil leaves and take them off and stack them up. So I've made a little sheaf, like a stack of paper. Now we set it down on our cutting board and roll it up. And from here, just very carefully, thin little slices. Voila. So the last step, of course, is to put it on a plate and serve it to our friends. Now this dish is going to be perfect for the summer because the fruit and the vegetables that are in here are all very seasonal, so they're going to be as fresh as possible. They're going to have all their nutrients intact. This is also completely plant-based. It's nutritionally dense. It's low fat. And it makes a perfect balance to some more savory foods. If you're grilling out, you'll be the star if you bring this along to balance out those meat and burgers. Plus, you'll be sneaking a little bit of healthy into people's lives. All right, now we're going to take our basil and put it over the top because it's going to be a beautiful garnish. And then, last but not least, we pick out our prettiest basil leaves we can find. A wise man once told me you eat with your eyes first. So, put that here. You set this out here on your picnic table or your dinner table or whatever, and I think you've got a winner.
And lucky me, I get to sample. This is really good. Who says you can't look forward to healthy eating? Thanks to the folks at Whole Foods for this delicious snack. And if you'd like to try the recipe for yourself, you can find it on our website, healthygermantown.org. We'll be back in a moment.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Proof you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Healthy Germantown, a new way for you to keep up to date on how to get healthy, stay healthy, and be healthy right here in our city. Part of this program is to answer your health-related questions so you can live your best life. This past summer, the Healthy Germantown crew spent time at the Germantown Farmers Market so folks could get their health-related questions answered on our Ask the Expert segment. Our first question is related to healing broken bones. We will ask the expert, Dr. Fred Azar, from the Campbell Clinic.
My question is, what are the best ways to heal for a broken bone after surgery? What should we do and what should we not do?
Well, Joni, instructions for cast care and wound care start in the immediate pre-op period when you're speaking with your surgeon about what to expect the day of surgery. So if you're there for your pre-op visit, you're talking about what you expect, that's when you should start getting your instructions about what to do after surgery. It continues to the holding area when you're at the surgery center or the hospital, asking those questions again. Having someone with you is always very helpful, so they can also help remember some of those things that your physician may explain to you. After surgery, you're somewhat groggy, you're not going to remember everything. So again, it's good to have someone with you to ask questions even after surgery. As far as cast care goes, you need to know what you need to do to protect the cast. Most casts need to be kept dry. And then when your cast can be removed, what you need to do about wound care, those are important questions to ask. You want to be as compliant as you can. You also want to see, when do I need to start therapy? What can I do at home? Nutrition is also very important for bone healing. So a good balanced diet is very important. Supplements, vitamins, multivitamins, calcium, vitamin D are really important. And also avoiding things like smoking. Smoking can tend to delay bone healing, so that's also important to consider.
So joining us here in the studio from the Campbell Clinic is athletic trainer Blake Mashour. Thanks for being here, Blake. Now let me ask you, what are some common injuries you see at Campbell Clinic this time of the year?
This time of year we see more often than not heat-related illnesses such as cramping or heat exhaustion and heat stroke, concussions, and common breaks and sprains.
So what can coaches or players or coaches or parents do to help their kids avoid heat-related problems over these next several weeks?
Coaches can follow the TSSAA guidelines that they have set out, that the kids are not supposed to be out in the heat over 105 degrees. Parents can help by making sure their children are going to bed at night and making sure their body is rested and prepared. Also making sure they're drinking plenty of fluids, water, Gatorade, Pedialyte, any of that sort of sports drinks. They also can make sure that they're eating. A lot of times kids don't eat before morning workouts, and the big thing is they need to have energy to burn, so they need to eat before they are already behind the game and start cramping.
And the parents, they need to hydrate too.
Parent needs to hydrate too. They're out in the heat just as much as the kids.
Well, let's shift gears. Let's talk about concussions. It's big news in the NFL and also at the college level. So what can coaches around the area do to help limit the impact of concussions for their athletes?
All right. The coaches can look at the TSSAA website and make sure that they're following the protocol that's in place. Once an athlete is suspected to have a concussion in the state of Tennessee, they're supposed to go see a doctor and make sure that they are either symptom-free or working that way towards becoming symptom-free. Some symptoms to look out for after a hit are headache, a major headache, or any sort of sensitivity to light and sound and any nausea. Children don't always know what's going on. They could be focused or trying to focus, and that could cause a headache. So also parents in that aspect can take away their phones at night to help limit the bright light that they see.
And we're learning more and more about this every year.
Every year, and it's all the research keeps coming back, and we learn new things. I learn new things almost on a daily basis. Every concussion is different, Kids are individuals, so therefore we have to treat each concussion individually.
And another question for you. If a player has a break or a sprain or another sports injury, or players decide it's one of us, somebody like me, how do you get in touch with the Campbell Clinic, and when? So let's start there.
We just started a program called the Walk-In Clinic that you can go anytime between 8 and 4 and show up at any of our clinics and be seen that day. You can also call and have an appointment with a doctor, but after hours, instead of going to the ER or any hospital, you can go to the after hours clinic from 5 to 8 at our DeSoto and our Germantown clinic, and on Saturdays from 8 to 11.
And I know people always ask, well, what's the wait going to be like? Am I going to see somebody who is a specialist who knows about my particular injury?
Right. And it depends on the day, but all our doctors are great doctors who know the body very well. And so sometimes you might have to wait, but sometimes it's a great experience so you don't have to go sit for 12 hours at the ER the night before.
And how do your doctors collaborate on the treatment plan with the therapist and the trainers?
We actually are able to talk to our doctors and figure out what type of prevention plan that they need to have set in place. Also with the rehabilitation, we can talk to them and see how each patient is progressing.
Does it happen very often where people come back to see you after they're healed because of the relationships that form during treatment? And I guess those would be the great feel-good moments you have, right?
Anytime I can develop a relationship with an athlete or their parents, and they come back, and even if they're not seeing me for a medical issue, but just asking questions to prevent the next medical issue, I take great pride in that, and I'm sure all our therapists and doctors do, because it just means that they trust us enough to come back and to be ahead of the game to go ahead and prevent it so they don't have to see us like that the next time.
And people who see you, they run the gamut from all ages, right?
Right. Weekend warriors to athletes in high school and middle school and college.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for the great tips. And thanks to you for being part of Healthy Germantown. We would love to hear from you and answer your health-related questions. So email us, healthygermantown@germantown-tn.gov. And also, check out our Healthy Germantown Facebook page for great events, health tips, and even inspiration. If you'd like more information on this or other shows, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. We'll see you next month on Healthy Germantown.